Welcome to the world of ability. This is Sue Roskoff here with a whole crew in the background. I'm excited for what we have for you today. This is the world of ability. We've been going here for quite a while. We are here every Saturday at 2 o'clock Central, and we are all about ability, right? Integrating those that have abilities and those that have abilities, those that have a disability with those that don't claim to have a disability. We're all part of the same here, right? We all have our different strengths. We all have our different interests and needs, and we are all about integrating all of that in our everyday lives, all here together. So with that, I am going to bring in Emily to give us a little further introduction. So over to you, Emily.
Welcome everybody to the World of Ability, which is on the World of Ability Podcast Network. The World of Ability Podcast Network and the World of Ability Podcast were both started in July 2020, July 26th, 2020, which was on the 30th anniversary of the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, by then President George H.W. Bush. And so we have, so also like to give special thanks and recognition to Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Jay Stoyan of the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton of the PAC Channel, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios for playing this on their platforms. We do have some great guests today. We have Matt Harling coming back after a while of not being with us, and then we have our longtime contributor of Mariana Waikiki. But I think before we start with that, Kurt, would you like to come in here and have a few words, or should we get to our guests?
Let's bring on our guests. We want to hear from Matt and Marianne.
Okay then, so how about we bring in Mr. Matt here. Hi Matt, long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but it's okay. Glad to be back here with you.
So how's life since the last time we saw you?
Well, it's been getting better actually. Maybe Marianne hasn't heard my story, but maybe I could kind of give just a little background. So 7 years ago, I was just a person doing their normal kind of stuff when I was in an accident with got a brain injury and had to turn myself upside down to try and figure out how to keep going forward, and ended up having the opportunity to be an artist. And about 3 years ago, I started doing some paintings of children with rare disorders, really focusing on what those children can do instead of focusing on a disorder or an illness or whatever. And I'm actually working on editing and putting together a book about all those children. And that's hopefully by the end of this year, it'll be ready for publishing. But my life kind of got turned upside down again last summer when I fell and hit my head again. Another traumatic brain injury, and the doctor wanted to do scans and MRIs, and in the process of finding out what happened to my brain, they found a tumor, something called a meningioma. It's benign, but they felt it was best to remove it before it started giving me other problems. So in November, I had surgery, opened up my brain, and pulled out a tumor. I don't know exactly how they did it. I don't want to know how they did it. but I after that, they decided that it would be best if I go through some radiation treatments to help ensure that this tumor doesn't grow back again. They got the whole thing out, but there's a likelihood of what I think they said 30 to 50% chance that it could grow back. And with the radiation, it would be less than 10%. So playing the numbers game and percentages, and that sounds like a pretty good deal. While I was going through the radiation treatments, I started doing journaling of what I was going through and doing a painting every day. And I'm actually got yet another book that I'm working on, and actually I've got a proof copy of it right here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm calling it Radiation Road, and in it is just every day my feelings, and you can see this one right there, how I was feeling that day. Let's see if I can get it so that there you go. You can see that painting. I was very tired. And so that's, I'm hoping that that people will gain some insight into what it's like to go through radiation. I posted these on my Facebook page every day while I was going through this, Facebook and Instagram. And I had a number of people of my friends that saw these and say, I've been through radiation before, and this is exactly what you're capturing this exactly the way I felt. And it was about a month ago, I met a man that was talking about his wife having brain cancer and having to go through radiation treatment. And there are lots of things going on. What do I expect with this? And that's kind of what I'm hoping, that maybe some people can get some insight into how is this going to affect me, because it's not easy. I mean, it was easy the first couple of weeks, but I went through 6.5 weeks of this every day except the weekends, going in to get x-rays shot into my head. And no big deal after the first few days, but by the end of 6 weeks, I was exhausted. And it took me several more weeks. I'm still getting better from that experience, but it works. I find out more. They wanted to wait several months until the end of June to do another MRI to see exactly what happened in there while they were doing all this X-ray stuff. But so I've got another month to go before I find out how did all this work? Did it work? But that's my story. I'm an artist now and enjoying that, but trying to bring some education to the world related to children with rare disorders, and what kind of things you might expect when you're doing radiation treatment.
Yeah, that's also very, very glad you're glad you're here and go with us and that kind of thing. So
Yeah, thank you.
where are
Hey,
we
Matt.
where are we on the book with the rare disorder?
I gotta edit that.
Rest on the edit
Yeah,
book?
the paintings are done. I have about 10 or 11 paintings to tell the stories of these children, and that's where we're going with that.
Keep moving on with it, Matt. We love you. Share your story. Put your head up. You're amazing. You're beautiful. And look
Thank
what
you.
you've done. You look amazing.
Go.
You look
Yeah, my hair's-
amazing. Yes, you do. So thank you for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story, and lift your head up. Pat yourself on the back. You did amazing work. I met you through the Happy Neighborhood projects, and you did some amazing artwork. So I'm not an artist, but anyway, it's beautiful to hear your story, and it's
You've got your own
very
talents.
uplifting, huh?
You've got your own talents that are very strong. Thank you.
And you're very uplifting, and so I want to share that with you as well. So it's beautiful. I'm so glad to see you back here on the Disability Channel. And yes, so that's a beautiful story. Unbelievable. I met you, 3 years ago? Look how you progressed. Look how you progressed after that.
It's
That
been a
is
while.
an amazing story. So, not to say one story, health is one thing, which we are going through. But your next story is that you're leaving a beautiful legacy. You're sharing. There's and capital people that have these rare disorders. Excuse me, I didn't say that right. That will benefit from it. So you know that. Thank
Yes.
you for doing that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing these books, because if you didn't do these kind of books, all of us wouldn't know how to do it. We wouldn't know how to learn and relearn or train. And our mind and body and spirits are there. But thank you. You are really sharing the story and the benefits of how much that we can learn from this. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, the both of you have
Yes,
that shared background actually with creating a book, creating something that is worthy of sharing out there is just, I love what you both do. And actually, Marianne, do you want to share with Matt? I know you're telling us a little bit earlier about some experiences you had recently here, and some impacts things that have impacted you. And I wonder if you want to share that a little bit, because I know Matt hasn't had a chance to hear that story yet. Would you like to share more?
Well, I'm Matt again, Marion of Waikiki, and yes, I read the children's sign language book. And I've been online. Excuse me. I was signing online, of course, for my deaf friend for 10 years in the state of Hawaii. And yes, it was re-editing it. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't difficult, because the fact is he had to groom me, so to speak. It was just like, I could be like, my head would be exploding of all this kind of stuff. And he knew that too. And then I had to be like, settled down, regroomed. But that's okay. I started from something to nothing. And I kept moving with it. And of course, editors do that. And that's good. They groom you. And pictures to action to all that stuff. So when I showed him the third novel, I didn't know what I was going to be doing really when I went to the state of Hawaii. He saw it. And, I spent 4 hours signing for him yesterday. I'm tired. I did miss seeing him. I'm on FaceTime. And we had to set up everything. I mean, like really, really, really set up everything. The laptop to this to here. It's worth it. It's so worth it. And then when we really sat down and talked about it, got into the nitty gritty of kind of stuff, I had his intention. I had his mindset. He was more amazing than I could ever be. I had his mindset. This is what I love about a person. You haven't met too. I love his mindset. And he had to sit there. And so I had to throw things around, like you throw things around the wall, kind of like throw a piece of spaghetti and all that kind of stuff. But when we really, really got into it, it was amazing. And he started crying. I cried too. Of course I did. Waves of emotions. My gosh, really. That we hit the aha moment. Like, oh my gosh, is that really about it? Or if not, we're good friends. We've been great friends for over a decade, and tears of joy. I haven't saw him. So to leave a book and a legacy is amazing. For the audience to understand it, that's up to them. I know what I'm doing. I'm not expecting that, but I know what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm doing things more right. And so there you go. And it was amazing. I signed for him for 4 hours yesterday. Oh my gosh. I would say the interruptions or changing this and changing that, but that's a normal thing kind of thing. We're like, oh my gosh. So put the cable over here, do this, do that, just oh my god, kind of crazy fun. And we had lunch, but we spent 4 hours together. You can't take away my life experience from that. You can't. I had so much fun talking with him and tears of joy. So Matt, thank you. Thank you. What you're doing and leaving legacy. I know a book is one thing from thought to action. And he actually cried not reading the book because it's not done, this third one, but he's read the other ones. And he just said, I see so much white light. White light is a huge gift for your friend to tell you that. And to change things around, talking with each other and, well, not bringing all these disabled characters in there. However, they're not. And so what their life journey is and their life purpose is. And to do that for this next book, to put it in outlet, it's very impactful for 4 hours. 4 hours. And my neighbor, I had to pay my bills. My landlord was here. It was great. And I interpret him and he's so respectful of what I'm doing something or whatever. Even I didn't say to Hawaii. Or yes, he was such an appreciated deaf man that I interpreted for. It was the amazing most person that I ever did. And anyway, so I just want to share the kindness with you, and you can take it off and share the kindness with you. Back to you, Sue.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Marianne. I love what you have done. I love where you're going with things. And I just want to open this back up to Matt to see if you had any questions at all. Because I think you guys knew each other from a while ago, so it's kind of fun to be able to reconnect a little bit on here. And I actually do have one of Marianne's books here. Actually, I'm with my virtual background trying to figure out there we go. Underwater Acts of Kindness and a little bit of, oh my goodness, virtual backgrounds kill me. So what it is that she's produced. And she even has a couple of apps now that can be downloaded onto a phone for learning more with sign language and just getting some basics, like the sign, just to be able to sign the alphabet. There's a way to learn that on your own as a game. I love that. It's pretty fun. And so, but Matt, I didn't know if you had any questions for Marianne at all or any thoughts you wanted to share with her. I just want to give you a chance.
No, I think our lives are enhanced so much by getting to know and interacting with people of all sorts of abilities. And it's not about what you can't do, it's about what you can do. And we just want to focus on the things that make us happy, that the things that we can do that bring fulfillment to our lives, and we do that. And what else can we do? And just focus on the good.
A good friend of ours has said for years, he's drilled into my mind. He always says, look at my ability, not my disability. And as a gentleman that's a full-time wheelchair user, and he is part of what has helped change my approach and how I think about things as well. And so I can't agree with you more, Matt. So, Marianne, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh no, I think he's amazing. And am I here mute? I'm so grateful that I did meet Matt through Happy Neighborhood Projects, and he's an amazing artist. And I'm grateful that I got to have him connect with some people in Hawaii. And that's what we do. That's about the Happy Neighborhood Project. So I know it's been a long time where we haven't seen each other or what we're doing. Things come up, things show, hurricanes show up. Oh my God, I went through a hurricane over here, Matt. But
Yeah.
it's great to see people because we're here for a reason. And we're here to support each other and all that stuff. You look amazing. Keep your
Well.
head up. And you know what? I just went outside and I put all the plants up. I put the polar heads up. So keep it up, Mara. You're amazing. And you told the story. And I'm so grateful that I met you. And through the Happy Neighborhood Project, I'm sure the doctor and his daughter too are impressed with it too as well. So again, Sue, Kurt, Emily, all of us through Happy Neighborhood Projects, guess what? We can't thank you enough for giving our talents out there and letting us shine to support each other, especially through a pandemic. But amazing, amazing work. So again, thank you, Matt. You look amazing. And yeah, the world will transpire with it. So glad to see you.
Good to see
And I
you
know
too.
we've talked a lot about Happy Neighborhood Project. You know, there might be people listening to this that have no idea what that is. Actually, Emily, can I bounce it over to you? Do you want to just share a little bit about what is Happy Neighborhood Project? How do you find out more? What do you do with it? How, because that is where we've all connected. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had the pleasure of meeting any of you. So Emily, over to you.
So the Happy Neighborhood Project was started by a guy named Edwin Edeberry, who is now in California. And he's originally from Nigeria, but now is now located in California. That goes in about 2009. He started the I Am Happy Project, which the Happy Neighborhood Project, yeah, I can't talk. He started the I Am Happy Project, which the Happy Neighborhood Project kind of stemmed from. But in about 2009, he went out and interviewed over 1,000 people about happiness. And so that's kind of how this all came about. And it's kind of like a business networking group, and there are different groups around the US and even overseas. There's one as far away as Australia, and there's some in Europe and so on, Canada. And it's an amazing group. So
I'm going to go ahead and put a plug in there. So if people want to
Oh.
find out more, if they want to join us at some point, there are I don't know the exact number, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 meetings every week taking place between Monday and Friday. There's a lot of opportunity. Website, happyneighborhoodproject.com. Go there. It'll all be listed out. We're actually, Emily, Kurt, and I are part of the Wisconsin, Minnesota team, and we meet on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock Central. So it's just a matter of registering for the meeting, and you'll get the Zoom link, and you come on just like what you see with us here on this. We're in a Zoom room like this, and there's breakout rooms. There's a chance to talk more closely with the smaller group. And the way ours is formatted right now, we have the first room being with 4 or 5 people, so it's a bigger group, and then we do one-to-ones for the last half of our meeting. We actually set it up now so that you literally will have like 4 to 5 minutes just talking one-on-one with one person, sometimes 2 people, depends on how many people we have. But it is a lot of fun. We have met so many amazing people, Marianne and Matt included, that it's been such a treat to be able to do that. And like I said, we meet every week, one day a week. And then even on Friday, it's a bigger group called the Worldwide Group that Edwin actually is the one that hosts that one. And there's a lot of people on that one. Our group on with Wisconsin, Minnesota, we've been hovering around like 15 to 20 people a week lately. And it is so much fun. It's a great way to meet new people, find out new things. And like I said, with bringing this opportunity to meet Matt. And actually, I'm kind of curious, do you have any fun summer plans coming up now? Just kind of switching gears here a little bit. Are there some things you're looking forward to experiencing this summer?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
well,
you.
what is it, in 2 weeks? 2 weeks from Tuesday, my wife and I are traveling to Colorado to visit our son and his family.
Excellent.
And
Sounds
then in that weekend after the 4th of July, I've got a participating in an art show at a local vineyard and winery that so hopefully if you're in the Northern California near Placerville, come on out and see us. The 8th and 9th of July at the Sierra Vista Vineyards and Winery.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, that sounds like fun. I wish I was closer to you. Oh, and actually, speaking
It's
of
just flying out from Wisconsin.
that sounds lovely. And at a vineyard of all things, how much better do you get? You're at a vineyard and there's an event going on where you can see artists such as yourself and I'm sure lots of other activities at the location there as well. And you know what? I'm seeing a couple additional friends hopping in here. Because speaking of California, or at least that side of the coast here, Leanne McLaughlin, I see, is joining us. And I'm wondering, Leanne, if you want to come on in and introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about what it is that you do, what you're all about. Hi, Leanne.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah,
Excellent.
my name
So
is
good to see you.
you too. Yeah, my name is Leon McLaughlin, CEO of the Clean Water Foundation. And it's so funny when he was talking about the show at the Vineyard, because we're actually having a event at a ranch in Woodinville, Washington, where a lot of wineries is at for July 14th, 15th, 16th, and it'll be Water for Children for the Hopi and Navajo Reservation in Arizona and Gambia, Africa. So yes, and we got a lot of musicians performing, and I also sent the link out to Kurt on the talk show we did at Sedona Spotlight on our event last week at Life Community Church, where we were able to raise funds for 550 children on the Hopi and Navajo Reservation to get clean water units, along with funds for the homeless in Seattle, and one of our models who had breast cancer for funds for. So we did a show and was able to fund 3 different organizations, which is the first time we've ever did that. We normally just do Water for Children. So that was fun, turned out successful. We did the talk show, sent you guys the link. So yeah, and we got the July event coming up as well on the 14th, 15th, 16th. So look like a lot of events is happening in July.
That's amazing. So people can go on tour, they can go to the event that Matt's talking about, and then the one that you're mentioning here. If you're able to put any links actually in our chat, feel free to do that. I'll see what I can do to share that out as well here as we're sharing out this the World of Ability podcast as well.
Yeah,
So,
and our website is www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org, and I'll put it in the chat box. And if anybody want to join us, come on out. It's a free event. We got great singers, a Cirque du Soleil performance, and we have a famous hamburger place like a McDonald's, but it's called Dick's Burgers, and they're famous out here in Washington. They're actually doing the food, so we having burgers, drinks, the whole works. So yeah, pretty cool. And Stella beer for the ones who drink. We got that and refreshments. So yeah, we're gonna have a blast.
excellent. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is amazing. And actually with July as well, that's when we start getting into our adaptive water ski season down in Burlington, Wisconsin. So July is going to be big this year. I absolutely love this, that we've got so many good things coming up. So, and actually we've got another friend joining us here. I want to give a chance for Mark to say hello. Mark is a great friend of the Shakedown. We've actually gotten to know him quite well as we get together daily at noon for something called the Shakedown. So Mark, if you want to introduce yourself and just tell everybody what the heck is a Shakedown and what do you all do with us there?
Well, I'm Mark Laufenberg. I'm a C4, C5 incomplete quadriplegic. And the shakedown is just a series of exercises for people with MS, spinal cord injuries, any type of disability, just to get some movement going. Most of it involves movement with the arms, since many people are disabled in their legs, but we also do some leg work too. And it's just 15 minutes of basically motion, getting yourself moving. And I enjoy it. It's a good exercise, and then we socialize afterwards, 15 minutes, maybe a half hour or more. And it's a good outlet for that also.
Awesome. And Mark's specialty, he brings a highlight at the end every day that personally I've grown to love this piece. After we're done doing literally 15 minutes of music in motion, he tells us what is special about today, what the heck is going on, and what is, because it's always National Day of something, right? So I'm wondering if I can actually pop up real quick here to share with everybody. Give me 1 second here, and I'm gonna see if I can share my screen and share with you the give me 1 second. Sorry, got to get to the right spot here. Do I have? Oh, this is not it. So actually, Emily, do you want to share a little bit about where people can find the shakedown with Facebook and all that? And I'll see if I can get this picture up while you're doing that.
Okay, so we have a Facebook page, and it's called the 12 o'clock shakedown, like all the words spelled out. The words 12 o'clock shakedown. And I've been doing a Facebook Live there on that page every day. So anybody who isn't interested or can't come on, join us on Zoom for any reason or anything like that, are able to go back and watch any of the past Facebook Lives that are on the page.
And this
Or
is,
even if they want to do the live along with us and not come on Zoom, that works too.
yeah, whatever works, and it's adaptable for whatever your ability is. Join in and do what you can. And this is just an example of Mark's backdrop. He'll actually go, I don't know how you find the time to do this every day. I love it. So he has, like today, this is actually from just a couple hours ago. It is National Trails Day, Insect Repellent Awareness Day, World Bicycle Day, Happy National Egg Day, Happy Cider Day, and National Black Bear Day. So just, it's kind of random because, you know, there's a day for everything. It's kind of fun to see what it is. And then there's also usually some celebrity birthdays that he can share with us as well, that I would never know any of this if he wasn't doing this. And it just is a little piece of fun at the end that, like I said, I've grown to love this part, to find out what the heck am I supposed to either, you know, eat or drink or celebrate or whatever it might be. So it is truly a way to get people moving. And it was started by Jim Turk from the Madison area. And it was something that started actually during the pandemic to keep active and moving when we were all staying home doing, you know, not as much moving. So it's a fun thing, and it's open to anybody of any ability. So Leon, Matt, you guys are, if you ever find yourself free at noon on noon Central any day, we are literally there 365. We're always doing it.
Definitely. I'll definitely keep that in mind and would love to join you. And I love that 15-minute shakedown thing. That is so cool. That's really educational and should get out there.
It's great. And if you're not able to do it right at noon like that, there is that opportunity to find any of our playbacks on Facebook as well. So it's a way to be engaged and to get moving. It's
Yeah,
not hard.
I really love that, and especially for seniors, because I know I just
Mhm.
won a wrongful death lawsuit for my dad, and the problem why we won it because they wasn't, and we were paying like 11,000 a month to keep him in this nursing home, and they wasn't turning him, exercising him, and he got bed sores, and we just won a wrongful death lawsuit because of that. So when I heard him say that, and he said about the legs, he was 100% right, because that's the reason why we won this wrongful death suit, because of the fact that they wasn't turning them and exercising them just like he was talking about. So it's so true.
Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, but
Yeah.
you're bringing light to something it's really important that people don't even, again, things that people don't think about. It's like earlier today, we were doing our TDC Today show, and one of the topics we had was what's going on here on a national level with the Disability Integration Act, and the fact that we need to have an actual act of Congress to have some of these topics even handled remotely appropriately, things where folks don't necessarily have the ability to have their own choice respected and followed, whether it's the whole concept of being institutionalized because of your ability or disability, and whether or not it's your choice, and what they do once you are in such a place. There's so many factors in there. It's like in my mind, I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
you
don't get
so
me
right.
started.
You hit it dead on the head. Like you said, don't get you started. I mean, you are bing, bing, bing. You hitting it. So you're right. And we have to do something about that. And I think that would be good to bring it to the public eye. Because when I just heard him talk about that, I said, wow, the world should know what you guys are saying about the shakedown and the health and the whole works. That's 100 billion% right.
And it's one of those things too, the shakedown. Why is it called the shakedown? Well, when it was started out, when Jim did this, we all had a shaker of some sort in our hands. So just to hang on to something and to kind of make some kind of music as you're going. He does a lot of drum circle activities as well. And so this fit right into what he is absolutely in his wheelhouse of having something to shake as you're doing things. So it's a lot of fun. And the more people that know about it, the better, because like you said, anybody can do this and it's a lot of fun. So, but before we're all said and done here, I do want to give a chance for any messages. Give us some reminders here again. I know some events were mentioned. Matt, I'm going to flip over to you here first. Do you want to just mention again what, with your book, just give us a highlight again of what it is that you're doing? Because actually Leon didn't get to hear this yet. So tell us about your book that's coming up and the event that you were talking about in July.
Unmute myself. So
That's
so
perfect.
about 3 years ago, I started doing some paintings of children with rare disorders. And I was focusing on depicting them in a way that represents what they can do instead of focusing on just a picture of them, just to highlight that they have capabilities. And it's not about disabilities, it's about abilities. And so I'm working on a book of those paintings and their stories. And the title is going to be See What I Can Do, Stories of Remarkable Children. And I put in the chat a link to my webpage where I've got the paintings and the stories, but I want to put it into a book form that is a little more something that little kids can pick up and read instead of looking at a computer screen. Now I also have an opportunity. I have been an artist since a brain injury that I sustained 7.5 years ago. I was an engineer, but brain injuries and engineers don't work together too well. And so I've been an artist, kind of what I've always wanted to do anyway. And in July, I'm going to be in an art show along with a bunch of other artists at a winery outside of Placerville, California. So actually, I could put a link to that winery. They don't have any information about it other than the times and the location, but I'll put that in the chat as well.
Excellent. I'll
That's what
make
I'm
sure to
doing.
get that shared out. So thank you so much, Matt. We love that you're here and we love what you're doing. I'm excited for the book to make its way out here too. So Leon, you want to highlight again what the event is that you've got coming up as well?
Yeah, we're doing a Water for Children for the Hopi and Navajo tribe to put water units on the reservation because they're drinking water with arsenic in it, uranium on the reservation from the mining companies that polluted their water. And they're getting cancers at like 16 years old. The men only live to like 45 on the Hopi and Navajo reservation in Arizona. So we're having a big event in Woodinville, Washington, Water for Children for the Hopi and Navajo reservation, along with Gambia. And it's going to be a ranch. We have Dick's Burgers, which is a famous hamburger place out here in the Northwest. That's one of our sponsors. We got a great music lineup of great artists. We even have some Cirque du Soleil performers that'll be doing a ground show there. It's going to be for 3 days, July 14th, 15th, and 16th. And if anyone would like to know more about it or join us, it's a free event. And if you want to make a donation, you can go to www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And come on out, 3 days. We're going to have a lot of fun. A ranch was donated to us, which was unbelievable. And a great music lineup. Some of the artists, one of them, Steve Boyce, he played with Yes, John Lennon, George Harrison, just received an award in honor of the drummer Alan White, who just passed away. And he received the award for him with Alan White's wife. For the group Yes. I don't know if you guys remember that, a roundabout, because I used to book shows at the Paramount. So we booked everybody from Bob Hope to LL Cool J. So it was the group Yes. And he played with them, BB King. He'll be performing at the event along with a list of other great artists and performers. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Leon, for being here. We'll make sure to get the word out on that. I do see, I know we have not had a chance to have Kurt just say a couple words here yet. So I want to bring him in and see what words of wisdom he has to share with all of us here with World of Ability. Over to you, Kurt.
All right, it's good to come out of quarantine here and take the muzzle off and be able to talk. All right, so yeah, thanks for coming on here, Leon, Matt, Mark. Yeah, it's a lot of great work represented here, great events, great people, and making for a great summer. So let's make it a summer hummer. And I guess I just want to theme this to the idea of look what people with disabilities have done, because, for Sue and me, it was about an evening where we had the idea that somebody was going to ski in our water ski show, a friend that was going to use our sit ski for adaptive water skiing, showing diverse abilities and showing inclusion in a water ski show. And it didn't happen 10 years ago, but I'll tell you what, it gave rise to with Sue, we have a fun thing. Once in a while, we call her Tsunami. It's kind of like when you get in Sue's craw and she gets kind of bearing down and something big's coming from Sue. It's the tsunami. And that's a little bit of what happened here. In 6 years, we more than sextupled the access to the sport of water skiing for people with disabilities coming through Wisconsin. And, that was in 6 years. So that was a tsunami of progress. I never experienced anything like that where something took on so strong. So, it's a sign that these things are something that people want. And it's been a long time in coming, like across human history type of time, like even beyond millenniums, type of time. There is something of our culture, custom, and genetic memory that there is this, strange or a strange relationship between people with disabilities and those that don't have a disability. And I'll say, in my life, a lot of people have had fun with me being in the golf industry for 13 years. They've been calling me Curtis Strange, and I don't know if it's because of how well I golf like Curtis Strange, but I think it might have been the surname Strange and it seemed to fit me. So, but in any case, I don't sit here to reflect that I've done it right most of the time. So it's to say that I've done it wrong most of the time. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to say the lessons learned, taught by people with disabilities. And, Mark Laufenberg here can, attest for when he first met me, he met me as a ski bum coming in and saying, oh, there's something about this sit ski and, sounds cool. He's heard of like downhill skiing and, how does it work on the water? And then hearing about friends like Autumn who were out there and became really strong in propelling adaptive water skiing around the Madison area and beyond. And, what an exciting story and, what it has propelled, Sue and me and then Emily hopping on board. It brought us to, where, with this podcasting that we do, one of our podcasting partners, John Morley, co-host of H&P New Jersey with the J Moore Tech Talk show. Another friend of ours noticed what he was doing with H&P. She went to his event on Zoom and said, hey, Kurt, this is something I think that, might help what you're trying to do. Oh, was she right? And then I come and sit in these meetings and they're like, hey, instead of trying to recruit them or, kind of like being all salesy with people, maybe invite them to a podcast or to watch a podcast, subscribe to a podcast. So I'm like, yeah, I've got a podcast to subscribe to. We coincidentally had just started the World of Ability podcast. And then it brought us to great folks like Matt and Marianne Waikiki and Leon here. And just the domino effect, the ripple effect just keeps on going. So, so the commitment here is that we're going to ride this wave as far as it's going to go into the future. And I'm just getting a sense of and indications of that there's a lot of people around the world doing their own percolations. And when it all comes together in synergy and reaches the big burst, boom, big things are happening just around the corner, folks. I guarantee I've been a part of enough networking with my LinkedIn account. Started when I came into H&P with 5,000 contacts. Talk about a big boom. I've got over 8,000 contacts on LinkedIn because the community is so effective in creating quality relationships. It happens fast, but it doesn't seem fast. But then when you look at it, it's like, holy smokes, I got a few thousand more contacts in a few years, whereas it took me like 20 years to get the 5,000. So we live in a different day and age today. And I hear a lot of comments about that, this idea of a new normal. We are as a world trying to figure out where 2023 is finishing up and what 2024 has in store. And I guarantee that if we want to bring out the most potential in what could be in the next year ahead, we have to, paramount to mandatory, let people with disabilities lead the way. Because we're talking about during the pandemic, there was a lot of quarantine, staying away and, not going out into communities. And whoa, what a realization. This is what I was hearing from folks like Mark, having been president of the Madison Spinal Cord Injury Group. A lot of what we found from the board of the Spinal Cord Injury Group is that the members wanted to get out and have fun. When we were providing fun, it was getting done. So that's where we're going to lead the way. The story started for Sue and me with the sport of water skiing and what it took to make available what is fun. I went to face spaces, service communities. I went to the educational sector. I went to the business communities, the associations. We did a train the trainer where we had 6 restaurants do a potluck to provide food in a 2-day training right out in the area where Mark's at, this was at Law Park in Madison, the home site of the Mad City ski team, so this is just my little fractal of experience to say when we completely allow and involve and facilitate and find out through self-determination by people with disabilities how it works best for them, and we make that happen, akin to how education was laid out back in 1990 when the Americans with Disabilities Act came out And I was learning, like a lot of Americans, hey, what's this big deal about? Oh my goodness, there's going to be all these elevators. There's going to be all these curb cutouts. There's going to be this and that. The Americans with Disabilities, like, oh, what a milestone in my country. And you know, I wasn't a part of all that background stuff that made the ADA what it is. And then in 2014, to have that blog where Americans with Disabilities were blogging every day, Americans with Disabilities on there saying what unleashed in 1990 with ADA and across the decades, what that has made possible. And Sue talks today about the Disability Integration Act. I crave the day where that act is passed. Let's leave it at that. Back to you, Sue.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on in here, Kurt, and sharing a few words. I am going to wrap up today by actually passing it over to Emily. But before I do that, I just want to say a special heartfelt thanks to all of you guys for joining us today. Marianne, Leon, Matt, Mark, you guys are amazing. We couldn't do this without you and all the support from all of our friends around this year. So thank you guys so much. And with that, I'm going to pass this over to Emily to sign us on out. Over to you. Oh, but you're still on mute there. We can't hear you.
That darn mute button.
I know, it gets in the way, doesn't it?
Would like to give special thanks and recognition to, of course, Jay Storian and the Disability Channel, Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Zach Clayton of the Paddock Channel, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios for replaying this show on their platforms. We are always looking for guests to be on our shows, so we have other shows, not just this World of Ability and the TDC Today Show. So if you are interested or know of somebody who's interested in coming on, to please connect with us, and we will make that happen. We are here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central and 2 p.m. Central. So I encourage everybody to either come on or tune into all of our social media, and to check out our social media, like, comment, share, and so on, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and the like. So I guess with that, we wish everybody a safe and productive week, and to stay happy.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys.